Now let me tell you a photographer's spooky story. I was at an estate sale, and I looked in the corner, and in the back, ooh, to my surprise, I found a couple of cameras. Now, this is all we ever dream of, is to find that elusive deal. When an old man walked up to me and said, "Oh, hey, you seem like you know what you're talking about." He gestured to the leg around my neck. I think I might actually have an Xpan in the back that I really should be getting rid of because my grandchildren are complete pieces of. In fact, I'll give it to you for just $1. Let me go get it for you. And then I proceeded to just stand there because, with the prospect of a $1 Xpan, I had nothing better to do in my life. So I stood there and stood there. And then it'd been like 15 minutes. I was like, okay, I need to figure something out. So I wandered back to the person who was running the estate sales. Hey, an old photographer came over and went to go get something out of the back. It's just been a minute. Do we need to check on him or do we know where he is? And he looked up at me with great surprise. The old photographer. He's been dead for 30 years.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach.
It's like, obviously, this is actually a video about an iPhone app. I mean, duh. $1 Xpan? Come on. You knew that when you clicked on the video. Seriously, this has been one of the apps that I've been having the most fun with lately. Like I don't love taking photos with my phone. It doesn't spark that like photographic joy that most of my other cameras do. And this thing does, which is just so unique and different, and enough so that I thought it was worth making a video. I'm not sponsored. I'm getting nothing for this from them. Just I had a lot of fun using this app, and I think you might too. So if you're looking for the app, it is called Xpan, but the A is a 4, so XP4N, because I'm sure legal reasons that's the closest they can do. It is a $1 app, which totally worth spend the dollar. It is definitely worth it. So even as it is now, it is just a ridiculously simple app. So real quick, I'm going to talk through all of its features. Once again, like I said, it is the world's simplest app. When you open it up here, the first thing you want to do is you have your 6 different options for the film type. You have a low light, that's kind of like a cine still 500T option. You've got balanced, which is vision kind of sort of based on like 250 like 250D or something like that, but it's mostly just kind of like a clean iPhone photo. Daylight, it was a portrait one, which, yeah, it kind of looks a little portrait-y. Gritty, it definitely totally looks like Metropolitan, and then a contrasty black and white and a soft black and white. But honestly, that's what's so awesome. What I love so much about it is that you just can look at these and say, in the current moment, what am I looking at here? What feels most like which of these 6 options fits it the best and go for it. Like there's not 10,000 options. There's not all these things you can do. Just pick one that fits the vibe. Is it bright and sunny? Well, you're probably gonna look at daylight or maybe the soft black and white, maybe the balanced. Oh, it's nighttime? You're gonna use that cine still thing. Oh, you're at a gas station? Definitely use use the cine still thing. Um, and so right in here, I'm in my little studio here. That seems like that's the natural choice. And then to take a picture, it's just this big button here. You also can use the volume down button to take a picture. Then, as I have a camera here that has 2 cameras, if I double tap the screen, then it goes to the ultra wide and then back to the regular.
And the app does work with however many lenses you have. So whether you have 1, 2, or 3, you'll have that many options to be able to use.
Then also, which is really important, if you need it to be brighter, just drag your finger to the right and it makes the EV to brighter or EV down. It only goes from minus 1.6 to plus 1.6, which definitely changes the way the vibe looks here. I went through and I shot a bunch of different of this same photo at a Dick's Drive-In, which is like our famous drive-in shop here in Seattle. And you can kind of see how, with using the Cine Still option, how it kind of works its way across the different vibes. And so yeah, it takes a little bit of practice to learn which one is going to be more of whatever thing you're trying to bring out. The halation effect that they put on with the Cine Still is not like a super duper crazy halation. So knowing how to balance it out there, if you're like, I want the halation to appear, knowing how to kind of balance it is really helpful. But that's it. It's such a simple app. And with that, it's just made it really fun. I have really enjoyed having this thing on my phone. And have enjoyed taking pictures with my phone so much more than I have previously. Like pulling out the regular camera app just is not, but pulling this thing out and doing it is fun. Obviously, all it's doing is it's just cropping the photos into the 64, 65 by 24 um like frame lines that an Xpan would have, and then putting a filter onto it. Which is, those are all things I could just do in Lightroom. Like I could totally just shoot normal photos, whether with the native iPhone app or with whatever photo apps you use. I usually use Haley. Not 100% sure on how to say that correctly, but that's the one that shoots DNGs. That's what I usually use. And then I could totally crop it in Lightroom. I could totally use a preset that does all these things because it's cropped in and I can only see that frame. And because as soon as I take the picture, I can see what it looks like here appear with the filter applied. Like it just lowers the barrier, it lowers that amount of time and just makes the process of it's just here for fun. Is it perfect? No, of course not. It's got a couple limitations. One thing I would say is don't try to take a lot of pictures really quickly, because it's pretty slow. It's gotten better. Man, when it first came out, you had to like take a picture and wait. But even as you can see this now, let's take a picture of this light. Click and touch. There it's up. And it doesn't save until the preview appears. So that like 1 second in there, if you try to like take a picture and then immediately try to change the film type, sometimes it will kind of mess up or freeze or something like that. Also, this is a bit of an issue because most of these things are just for social or like using on social media or whatever. Modern Instagram and stuff is vertical, and this is a very horizontal use case, which that's a bit of a bummer. Yeah, you're gonna have the same problem with any. I mean, even if you have a real Xpan, you're gonna have the same problem. I use the Scroll app or Scroller app, and I'm not again. If I'm gonna post it to like a story or something, I just would go into there and make a story, and then either I'd import one photo and then stretch it. So then, I could have this that splits across 4 images if you're going to be like tapping through them. The other thing I do, still using that same scroller app or whatever, is I go down and I get these grids and I'll do like a 4 here, and then I can go through and I can get 4 photos. So 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. And they would all populate just like so. In a lot of ways, it feels like what I want out of my film cameras when I'm taking a picture is that it's a quick way. I can make a couple of creative choices. I can take a picture and then I can move on from it. And I don't feel like I need to obsess over every single step along the way because it's supposed to be silly. And I can quickly make the photo that I want. I can make that like little piece of joy and then move on. I really have always loved panoramas and the way that it like stretches your viewpoint and stuff, and so I feel like it helps. There's so many times that I go to and I'm looking at a scene, especially kind of like a not necessarily a boring scene, that's the wrong way, but like a beach on a sunny day, I think is perfect for a panorama just because there's usually a lot of blue sky either above you or just like beach below you and stuff, and so this kind of helps to compress that just a little bit and makes it look really cool, especially using that wide angle one too. I found it to be a really great like selfie camera, whether it's like biking with my son or something like that. Like it works really well to hold it out and then take the picture, which is really a fun way to do it. And as far as like the colors go, here's a photo here. I took this with the cine still options, and then I can compare that to I took the same photos on my Leica using Kodak Vision 3 500T, which is the same film, and you can put them side by side. And yeah, are they perfect matches for each other? No, but they're pretty darn close and they look pretty good. Definitely the Vision 3, because it still has this remjet layer that protects from light bouncing back. It doesn't have a halation that you would see in Cine Still. So it's probably why you see a little bit more halation in the like fake halation in the phone version. Um, but the photos definitely do they fit the vibe. One last negative is that I find them to be tricky to edit, so definitely try to figure out how to get it right in camera. The JPEGs in these, because of whatever filters are applied, they don't look great once you try to edit them, whether that be natively in the iOS editing system or if you throw it into like Lightroom or whatever. It just doesn't look great. It's like just use it as it's supposed to be used, which is to be a low touch, high fun system. Anyway, give it a shot. Tell me what you think. Thanks for watching. If you see that old photographer, tell him he owes me a camera.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything.